Hello cadets. Now let's start with the next part from optics, that is optical instruments. Now the first optical instrument that we are going to study is the microscope and of course different types of microscopes. First, a microscope is what we call a magnifying device which is used to obtain the magnified image of a very small object which is placed very close to us. So we have the object very near to us, but because the object itself is so small that you cannot see it clearly with naked eye, and that is why you need the help of a certain magnifying instrument. So in this case, a microscope. Now, if the object is not too small, it is not a very what we call micro scale object, then a simple microscope, also known as the magnifying glass, that is enough to see the object clearly. So simple microscope, also known as a magnifying glass, it consists of a single biconvex lens working as a converging lens. Now, the object that we want to magnify is placed in front of the lens, and the object is placed either at the focus or between focus and pole of the lens. The most preferred location is between focus and pole. So this is the pole of the lens here, and suppose somewhere here is the focus. So this object is between focus and pole. Now, as a result of this, we know this image formation. When object is between focus and pole, the image is formed on the same side as that of the object. It is virtual, erect and magnified. So on the same side as that of the object, you are going to get an erect and magnified image which somewhat will look like this. So let us suppose AB is the object, whereas A1, B1 is the image. Of course, it is virtual. So by basic terminologies, this distance here would be object distance, that is U, and this distance here will be the image distance, that is V for this case. Now, the first important physical quantity or the physical parameter that we consider here is magnifying power. So, in the previous lectures, we have learnt about magnification, also called as linear magnification. So in linear magnification, we simply compare height of the image with height of the object. So imagine an object placed in front of a lens or even a mirror for that matter. The magnification produced is height of the image upon height of the object. So in a way, you can say that the magnitude of magnification tells us about how large or small the image is compared to the object. So it clearly means that magnification tells us about the relative size of the image with respect to object. How many times the image is larger or smaller compared to the object. But when it comes to human vision, so I want to see the object magnified. I want to see its enlarged view. That means we have to take into account human vision, its advantages and its limitations also in this case. That is why when it comes to magnifying instruments like a microscope or a telescope, we usually don't give much importance to magnification, that is linear magnification. Rather, we give importance to another parameter. It is called as the magnifying power, also known as the angular magnification. Now the question arises, why would we call it angular magnification. So the reason why it is called as angular magnification is because magnifying power is the ratio of two angles. One is beta and the other is alpha. Now, let us see which angles do we call beta and alpha. Now, in order to go into those details, we will have to also understand an important property or a phenomena associated with human vision. Okay, and that is the concept of visual angle. So in this equation, beta and alpha, what exactly are they? They are nothing but visual angles. They are visual angles. What exactly is a visual angle? So imagine I am looking at this object, this pen. Okay. So the actual size of the pen is this much. Okay. Now if I close one eye and look at this object from the other eye, my right eye. If I hold the object far away from my eye, the object will appear to be smaller in size. But if I hold it very close to my eye, the object will appear quite larger in size. In a way, we can say that how much larger or smaller an object appears to us primarily depends on the actual size of the object. So if I take just the cap of the pen, if I take only the cap of the pen, the actual size is smaller. So of course it will appear smaller at this distance. At the same distance I am placing the pen will appear bigger. Why? Actual size is bigger. But if I hold it in this way, that pen is farther away from me, but the cap is very close to my eye, then one condition will come where in front of my eye, the cap will completely cover the pen. Why? Because now the cap is subtending the same angle at my eye as subtended by the pen. So, whether an object will appear larger or smaller primarily depends on the visual angle subtended by that object at the eye of the observer. So, imagine this is the eye of the observer and here I have placed this object AB in front of the observer. Now, if it is closer to the eye of the observer, it is subtending a larger angle, say theta 1. Now, if I take this object further away from the eye of the observer, quite far away, in that case what will happen is, it's the same object, but now it's going to subtend a smaller angle, say theta 2, and that is why now it is going to appear smaller than before. So theta 1 and theta 2 are the visual angles subtended by object AB at the eye of the observer. So what is visual angle? First, visual angle is angle subtended by an object or maybe image also, an object at the eye of the observer. So if I keep this object away from my eye, it is subtending a smaller angle at my eye. But as I bring it closer, it is subtending more and more, larger and larger angle at my eye. So whether or not an object will appear to be larger or smaller depends on how much visual angle it is making, it is subtending at the eye of the observer. At the eye of the observer. So magnifying power basically is the ratio of such two angles, beta and alpha. Now another important concept that must be brought here is the concept of distance of distinct vision. That is, it's the minimum distance at which or up to which we can see, a normal human being with a normal eyesight can clearly see an object without any help of any magnifying instrument. So this is necessary to understand and introduced here. Why? See, An object is farther away from me, it is making smaller visual angle. I bring it closer, it goes on appearing bigger and bigger because the visual angle is increasing. But then the question arises, how much closer can I keep the object? After all, if I keep it just like this, I won't be able to see clearly. Why? Because the power of accommodation inside my eyeball is having a limit. That is, I can adjust the radius of curvature and the focal length of my eye lens up to a particular extent. So within those limitations, how close can I keep this object in front of my eye so that it appears as large as possible, of course, but at the same time, I don't strain or overstrain the power of accommodation of my eye, and I am able to see that object comfortably, clearly and comfortably, maybe for a longer duration of time. And that distance of distinct vision for a normal eye is 25 centimeter. We usually denote it by capital D. So, if the object is farther away from my eye, it is subtending smaller visual angle at my eye. That is why it will appear smaller. I bring it closer to my eye. Now the visual angle is increasing and the object will appear to be bigger and bigger. But I cannot bring it any closer than 25 centimeter. So there is a limitation, 25 centimeter. And so this angle alpha here is defined for this distance of distinct vision. So alpha is the visual angle subtended by the object at the eye of the observer when the object is placed at distance of distinct vision. So when I place this object at a distance equal to capital D, that is 25 centimeters. Okay, so alpha is the visual angle subtended by the object at the eye of the observer when the object is placed at distance of distinct vision. Because in this arrangement, the object will appear to be largest in size when seen directly through the eye. That is, you are not using any magnifying instrument, you are viewing it with naked eye. So the biggest size that we are considering is at DDV. So the biggest visual angle this object is subtending at the eye of the observer is alpha when the object is placed at distance of distinct vision. So the visual angle subtended by the object at the eye of the observer when the object is placed at distance of distinct vision is alpha. Beta is angle subtended by the final image at the eye of the observer. So the value of beta tells us about how much larger the image will appear to the observer. Because after all, remember, now how much bigger the image is compared to the actual size of the object, that doesn't help us much in case of magnifying instruments. What helps us much is how does it appears to the observer, to the eye of the observer. So when an observer is looking at it, how much larger does the final image appears compared to directly seeing the object without using the magnifying instrument. Now, the first approximation that we make here is, in case of a simple microscope or a magnifying glass, the observer is looking from this side. That is the opposite side. Now, when we use the magnifying glass, the eye of the observer is very, very close to the magnifying glass, to this convex lens. That is why we assume that this angle can be considered as beta, so that its opposite angle, that is this angle here, can also be assumed to be equal to beta. Okay. So this angle beta is angle subtended by final image at the eye of the observer. Okay. Now let's see and try to prove mathematically the formula for magnifying power in this case. starting with this diagram. So by the geometry of this diagram, tan alpha is equal to AB upon D, and from this diagram we have tan beta. Now take this angle beta. So for this angle, tan beta, opposite side upon adjacent side, it will be equal to AB upon U, so that tan of beta upon tan of alpha, if you do the actual division, it will come out to be equal to D upon U. Once again, D is the distance of distinct vision and U is the object distance. Okay. Now, moving ahead, another approximation about the values of trigonometric ratios for smaller angles that we are going to apply here. So, when angle beta and alpha are very, very small, now how can we possibly use this approximation? First, see, you want to use a magnifying glass, obviously the object itself is going to be very, very small. If the object is large enough, we can directly see it. You don't need magnifying glass for that. So, object that you want to see or you are looking at is actually very small in size. So, if you take that object in your hand and you directly look at it exactly the way it is illustrated in this diagram, obviously because the object is very small, alpha is going to be very small as well. Next, when you consider the magnified image A1, B1, that magnified image, so if object itself is very, very small, the magnified image, of course, compared to object, it will be big, but in reality, that image is also not very, very larger, and that is why angle beta also will be quite small. In that case, there is an approximation applicable that tan alpha is approximately equal to alpha and tan beta is approximately equal to beta. That implies magnifying power, which is beta upon alpha, it is equal to D upon U. It is equal to D upon U. So, when angles alpha and beta are very small and when they are measured in radians, then you can apply this approximation that tan alpha is approximately equal to alpha, tan beta is approximately equal to beta. So that by definition magnifying power, which is beta upon alpha, it is equal to D upon U. So this D upon U is our first important equation or formula of magnifying power of this compound the simple microscope. Now, this formula D upon U, we are directly going to use it when we derive the formula of magnifying power of a compound microscope. So it will be elaborated in detail only in this case. In case of compound microscope, the eyepiece is having exactly similar image formation. So there, for the eyepiece of compound microscope, this formula will be taken directly in that equation. Now, another form of this equation is this. We know that according to Lenz's equation, 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. Now here, if you observe carefully, object and image both are on the left side of the lens. That is why object distance and image distance both are going to be negative. If you apply that, you get minus 1 by V minus plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. So 1 by U is equal to 1 by V plus 1 upon F. Multiply by capital D on both sides. You get magnifying power, which is D upon U. It is also equal to D upon V plus D upon F. Again, this result also D upon V plus D upon F. This equation also we are going to use in compound microscope as a different form of D upon U. So D upon U can also be written as D upon V plus D upon F. So depending on where the object is kept or where its image is formed, the magnifying power, its value, its magnitude will vary. So let us now just focus on their maximum and minimum magnitude of magnifying power. So the magnifying power of the simple microscope is maximum when final image is formed at, minimum. So magnifying power is a minimum when the image is formed at infinity, and in this case, when the image is formed at infinity, the object is placed at the focus. Okay, now one word about all magnifying instruments. For this case, final image is at infinity. So take a simple microscope, take compound microscope, telescope, binoculars, any type of telescope. Whenever final image is obtained at infinity, it is called as the normal adjustment. That is, the device is said to be in normal adjustment when final image is formed at infinity. Now for every magnifying instrument, normal adjustment is the most preferred adjustment. So imagine you are using a binocular or a telescope to view any object, any terrestrial or any stellar astronomical object. There is a 90 to 95% chance that that device is in normal adjustment. Why it is preferable? See, when image is at infinity, that means these rays here, they are coming out of the lens. These rays are parallel to each other. See, when we use a magnifying instrument, it is always helpful for us to have these rays coming towards the observer parallel to each other, because in that setup you can keep on looking through that device using those parallel rays coming to you for a very long time without causing any strain on your eyes. So if the final image is anywhere near, of course you can see that also, but you will not be able to see it for a longer duration of time. You can't stare at it for a long time, because then after a while your eyes will begin to pain, because you are excessively using the accommodation power of your eye. So when parallel rays are coming towards your eye, you have to use the power of accommodation to a minimum extent, so you can see that object comfortably for a very long time. And that is why most of the optical instruments that you use, they are in normal adjustment. So final image at infinity, it's a normal adjustment. So V becomes infinity. So D upon V becomes very, very small. We say approximately it is equal to 0. Then the magnifying power in this arrangement is minimum. It's going to be equal to D upon F only. Once again, F is the focal length of the lens that we have used here. Now, the other case, maximum magnifying power. So image was at infinity, magnifying power minimum. Now suppose the image is closer to the lens. Again the same question arises. If the image is closer to the lens, it will appear bigger, yes. So does it mean that just keep on bringing the image towards the lens? The answer is no, because again the same restriction comes into picture. If the image is up to 25 centimeter, we can see it without causing too much strain on our eyes. But if it is closer than even 25 centimeter, then we may not be able to see it more than a few seconds. That is why here the restriction for this viewing is magnifying power is a maximum when image is formed at distance of distinct vision. Because at DDV or up to DDV, we can see the image comfortably, and when it is at DDV, it will appear to be largest in size. Closer than DDV, we can't see it for longer time. So that is our restriction for having maximum or highest value of beta. So if we substitute V as D in that equation, we get maximum magnifying power as 1 plus d upon f. So d here is distance of distinct vision. Typically it is equal to 25 centimeter. F is the focal length of the lens that we are using in this case. Okay, that is all about simple microscope. Thank you very much.